This is a Headgum podcast.
I just wanted to give a little trigger warning up top. Me and my guest today, Ryan O'Connell, who I never fully get to introduce in the episode because we were so excited to immediately start talking to each other. Ryan and we do discuss drug use in this episode. So I just wanted to give you a heads up and to also introduce my gorgeous guest of today's podcast, Ryan O'Connell. So please enjoy.
And the high school kids were all fucked up, touching each other. Oh my God, our 40 ounces was never enough. We want to pass out in your yard. We want to pass out. Yeah, that's basically it.
That's really good.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Like teen angst.
I love teen angst.
Yeah.
I feel that teen angst, honestly, sits more with me now than it even did when I was a teen.
Sure. Well, I saw the movie 13 when I was probably like 15.
Yes.
And I was like, why is someone not punching me in the face?
Yes.
And why am I not snorting someone's prescription pills?
Absolutely.
I was furious.
And weren't they also doing like whippets or like nitrate? Like they were like doing dust off.
I wanted to be so bad, but I was not good at being bad. But like I wanted to get fucked up. I wanted to get addicted to drugs, and like no one would let me. It was like so rude.
I was bad. Like I was like doing drugs and like drinking and stuff, but I knew girlies who were 13 bad.
Yeah.
And that scared me.
Well, usually like you have one of two ways. If you're like that 13, you can go the Drew Barrymore route, which is that you can actually be sober and stabilized at 15.
Yes, 16, yes.
Or you can just be dead.
Let's
face it.
I think
Not to bring the room down.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about like before we started recording, we were talking about like heroin, opioids, et cetera, et cetera. I did feel like there was a point where the bad girls in middle school were bad, and you either capped it off with just like, you know, drinking pot, maybe some cocaine use, maybe the occasional Xanax, whatever.
Yeah, I did.
Or then you went full tilt on heroin.
Well, there was no heroin in my high school, but senior year, people would go to Tijuana, Marissa Cooper style,
of course,
and get pills.
Yes.
Okay, and I didn't do that, but someone I knew came, like took my order. You know, my senior year, was like, what would you like? And I said I wanted Xanax and Somas. Somas were a muscle relaxer. I feel like I'm gonna age myself.
No. I know what they are.
Because Somas were like all the rage in my high school senior year. Like there was like people were just on muscle relaxers like all the time. It was very weird. First of all, it's a weird drug to do because I did them and I was like, this is it. Like I literally like.
Did it feel good?
I don't know, because like you're an unreliable narrator when you're 17, so like you can just project any experience you want to have on it, and then abracadabra, it's that.
Right.
It's very "We Tell Ourselves Stories in Order to Live" by Joe Nidian.
Right.
So like I can't actually like tell you like what it really felt like, but I mean it felt like what I wanted to feel like, which was just like dreamy and fun and floaty.
Right.
But like it could have been giving placebo. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know. It doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
All I know is that like we would take them, and then I would like make out with this guy, and then like feel like you know what I mean?
Totally.
And then like that was it.
I think I was like one time I was given oxy to snort.
Ooh, yeah, I've been there.
I snorted it.
Yeah.
And like, I swear it was like a sugar pill. Like, I swear it was
well, that is sugar pill. Because, honey, if you snorted oxy and you didn't feel anything, it ain't oxy. Let me tell you something about that, okay? Because the first time I ever did oxy, LOL, I was at the new school.
Yes.
I was probably 20, 21. There was a girl in my class that was from New York that was always crying. And I was like, she knows where the drugs are. I literally was like, I'm my radar by Britney. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like...
the way you walk. The way you talk.
So basically, she gave me oxy. This was 80 milligram. They got rid of this, I think, because people were dying so often.
Yes.
But it was like when 80 milligrams would hit you all at once. Then it became time release because they were like, people need to stop dropping like flies because we're losing our consumer base. And I remember I took one. I went to go see Spring Awakening on Broadway.
Original cast?
Original cast. By the way, I'm not a musical theater bitch, so like I had no idea. I literally was like, "What is this?" I literally was like, and then it was like casually like Leah Michelle and Jonathan Groff, and I was like, "Who cares?"
Okay.
I don't know this world. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I remember being so high, like it was actually unreal.
Yeah.
And then I remember like bouncing around Manhattan like a pinball machine and just like basically feeling like I was levitating. And it was like the best night of my life. And then the next day I was vomiting for like 48 hours afterwards. It was like très brutal, but it truly was incredible. Not to like be pro drugs, of course. I'm sober now.
We give trigger warnings before all of these episodes, or we discuss such things.
Yes, totally. But it was really fun. And then, but in high school, it was really just somas. It was Xanax, but it was more about the performance of taking those drugs rather than actually taking them.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It was like not that deep for me. It was more of like, I wanted to say that I snorted a Xanax off of a Rolling Stone magazine.
Right.
But like what that actually means, the jury's still out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, I'm going to backtrack.
Sure. Okay. Have fun backtracking from Oxy and Spring Awakening. Good luck with your project.
I'm going to need to backtrack. That gorgeous song that we heard in the beginning, that was Nights of the Living Dead by Tilly and the Wall.
Yes.
So our listeners are like, okay, we're talking about somas. We're talking about, Oxy.
Sure.
What year are we in?
We're in 2005, baby.
We're in 2005.
Yeah, which, by the way, is like somehow chic now, I think.
I think it absolutely is chic now.
It's before, it's that moment, it's that brief moment of life before indie sleaze, which is now having a moment.
Yes.
But indie sleaze was more when I was living in New York, which was like, it was like Cobra Snake, it was Beatrice Inn, it was the Misshapes.
Of course.
And that was like, that actually truly probably did start 2005, because I remember I went to the Misshapes in 2005, my first time going to New York, which was right after high school, which truly was exactly what, big city, big, like,
it's like what you wanted it to be.
I
remember.
New York is just here?
I know. And there's all of this.
Oh my God.
I know.
Yeah.
It actually is really shocking.
No, it's mage. It's absolutely mage.
Well, okay, so the year's 2005.
Sure.
Hold on. I want people to get in the mood. So just to sort of, because now I think 2005 is more relevant than ever.
It is, yeah.
Just to sort of tell people what was going on, I'm going to tell you the most popular television shows people were watching in 2005.
Okay.
Number 1, Criminal Minds. Okay?
I'm like, isn't that still on?
Yes.
No, is it really?
No, it's not.
Oh, God.
Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, I never fucked with that.
Me either. Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay.
No,
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Absolutely not.
It's Me or the Dog. I've never watched this show, but I want to.
It's Me or the Dog?
Yeah.
By the way, there's probably like a show on CBS right now called It's Me or the Dogs. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally like the sequel to Me. It's all those It's Me or the Dog heads. It's a reboot. You know what I mean? It's literally like, okay.
That's actually what we're writing together after this.
Totally. It's Me or the Dogs.
It's Me or the Dogs.
It's spelled DAWGS.
Z.
Oh, okay. This is collaboration? Collaboration. Yeah. Let's call it building. Yeah.
Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, okay. I don't care.
Spiral 8.
Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is.
So You Think You Can Dance, huge.
I don't care about that.
Intervention.
Oh, I loved Intervention. But I didn't watch it then. I watched Intervention like in college, but not in high school.
I watched it in high school, and I remember certain episodes of Intervention being like, I was like scared.
Like Christy on meth that was like, I'm going to do what I want. The government does.
Yes.
Like, and it was like iconic.
Well, obviously there was Dust Off Girl.
Oh, Allison.
Yeah.
Walking on Sunshine.
Yeah, Walking on Sunshine.
Yeah. It's like, I'm walking on sunshine. Yeah.
Bless her.
Bless her. I think she's sober now.
I love that.
Yeah.
I hope so. The last ones I'm going to say, because like, who really cares? Prison Break.
No, don't care about that.
Deadly Women. I did love Deadly Women.
What's that about?
It's like, like sort of about women that kill.
Oh!
Deadly Women.
Slay.
And then something that I did watch, and I did watch Bones.
Bones?
Did you ever watch Bones?
No, but Bones is like one of those shows that like it's on for 20 seasons.
Yep.
Everyone that works on it became a multimillionaire. But like it's like Rizzoli or Niles. It's like giving it's giving Rizzoli and Niles. It's giving Once Upon a Time.
Yes.
Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time. Once. It's giving Castle.
Do you know what I mean? It's like those kind of shows that you're literally like, who are these people? But also they're very rich.
And I think the shows that were more for us, The Comeback, obviously.
Beyond.
Weeds.
But I remember watching it when it came out, being like, I don't get that. Like, I remember being like, this is uncomfortable, and I don't understand, and being like, oh.
Well, it was like...
And now it's
way ahead of its time.
No, it was beyond. It was absolutely beyond. But like now I watch it and I'm like, oh.
It made everyone so uncomfortable.
I know. It did. Because it felt real. Because it was kind of.
I was going to say, because like there is something, I feel that way now.
Yeah.
And like I haven't even had a big enough thing to come back from. And I like still feel like
You feel like Valerie Cherish?
Yeah, sometimes.
You're like, Jane, cut. You're like trying to cut the podcast.
That?
You're like, cut. Actually, can you leave that out? I don't want to be known that I relate to Valerie. No, I can't. That's actually very embarrassing. Jane, stop.
In the pilot episode, when she's at the chateau and she sees... Is it Ryan Seacrest?
Oh, that's season 2 you're talking about. It's with Andy Cohen.
Oh, Andy Cohen.
Yeah. See, gay database.
That?
I was like, people filing. I'm in my files. Okay, there we go.
What's that Tom Cruise movie where he's like doing all the things with the orbs?
That's literally every Tom Cruise movie. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, in 2005, you were in Ventura County.
I was. And I feel like also like what we need to talk about is like reality TV at that time was Chef's Kiss because it was still pretty new.
Yes.
And so people were their authentic selves. So we had Rich Girls, which I think came out 2003, 2004. Mm-hmm. I inhaled Rich Girls like
What was Rich Girls?
Excuse me?
I don't know Rich Girls.
Wait, you've never heard of...
Do you know Rich Girls?
Jane?
Yeah, Jane. Do you know Rich Girls?
So,
is it on Bravo?
No, Rich Girls was on MTV. It starred Allie Hilfiger.
Yes. I do know this.
Jamie Gleischer.
Yes, no. I do remember this because Allie Hilfiger. I remember they famously. I grew up going to Nantucket. They had a house on Nantucket, and I remember them.
What?
Going to Nantucket in the summers. No.
Oh,
I'm not Meghan Trainor.
Okay,
no. Meghan Trainor grew up on Nantucket.
Wow. Good for her.
I know. Escaped.
Yeah.
But I remember that show because I remember it was like 2004 or something, and there was like a rumor going around. I don't know if it was true. They were like shooting it at their big house in Nantucket.
They did shoot in Nantucket. They also shot, they shot all over the place. They shot in their Connecticut home, the Hilfiger Connecticut home, where Allie Hilfiger had a nervous breakdown because she realized that she had no life skills and wasn't ready to grow up. And so she, to prove to herself that she could be an adult, she went to Whole Foods to try to make a burrito. And she literally is like fucked up the entire filming. Like she's in a Xanax haze. And so she literally is like, she goes to Whole Foods like with her Birkin, like literally like looking insane, being like, hey, do you know where the rice is? Do you know where the beans are? And then she like tries to make a burrito, but she can't. And she has like a full nervous breakdown. It is honestly insane television because they did not know there was no point of reference.
Right.
So they didn't know how badly they were going to get screwed. So people get like Jamie Gleischer, her friend, who always was unsoothed and chain smoking 40,000 Marlboro Red cigarettes, was like trying to like lose her virginity on prom night. Like they talked about sex. Like it was very unfiltered in a way that would never fly. And it was just it was truly LMAO. You can watch the episodes, I think, on YouTube
or something.
It is, Greta, it's like incredible television.
I need to watch it.
It is incredible.
So you were like in high school. How big was your high school first of all?
So I went to a really kind of strange high school. So Ventura is kind of it's like a middle class, borderline blue collar beach town. Like think Laguna Beach, but like with sprinklings of meth in the sand. You know what I mean?
Love.
And it was very beautiful.
And very close to Santa Barbara.
Very, honey, and I'm an SB girl.
There you go.
I am. Like when I get away, I go to SB. And you might like I just went to Palm Springs because I like keep like by law as a gay man.
Yeah, you need to be like, I like it.
I go there, like literally like non-consensual.
Yes.
I'm literally like, what am I doing here?
Yes.
And I went last week, and I truly was so unsettled because the desert really does unsettle me. Like something ain't right. Something ain't right. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, I am a Santa Barbara girl, and I need to hold myself accountable on this podcast and just be like,
you're an SB girl. Stop going to Palm Springs.
Stop going to Palm Springs.
And can I say I'm right there with you?
Oh, good.
Because like I've had fun in Palm Springs.
Sure.
I have.
Yeah.
Spiritually,
I'm gonna unpack that. Hold you to task, okay? I'm like, your gay friends might have, but
spiritually,
Yeah.
I'm an SP girl.
Totally. So I had SB in one corner. I had Ojai in the other corner.
Love.
It's really funny to see the bougification of Ojai.
Yes.
Because, like, honey, it was just a stream and a creek. You know what I mean? It was like some woman burning some incense and like an ice cream shop. And that was it.
And that was
like, you would come to Ventura because Ojai was so sleepy deepy. You know what I mean? So I'm like, now it's like the butcher's daughter and the Venice. And you're like, literally, like, are you okay?
It's giving artisanal.
Yeah. And it's like, honey, like, go to sleep. You know what I mean? That's not the Ojai. I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're like, I miss when it was just a creek.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you just go there and get like stoned and like go swimming in a swimming hole. It's very idyllic.
Wear like burlap or something.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So then you had Los Angeles, which was an hour away.
Right.
So you could go there. So the proximity to culture was good, even though it didn't have any.
Right.
But anyway, so I was really scared about my high school options because I was like, okay, there's two schools, Ventura and Buena. I felt like, as a gay disabled person, I was like, honey, there's going to be a bullseye on my GDAM forehead.
Right.
I was like, we got to go, you know?
Right.
Luckily, my prayers were answered because a new school was founded a year before called Foothill Technology High School, which was a school for ... technology. Now, in 2004, that was medium rare, considering everyone was like still beep, bop, boop, boop, boop on their Hewlett Packard.
Right.
But like, so I don't know like what they were trying to do, but I was immediately like, I
want to go there.
Because I knew that it was going to be a school for nerds, which it absolutely was.
Good.
So I come limping up to fucking Foothill Tech, like 2005, brand new spanking school.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I'm literally the Regina George of the nerds. Like, I was like, I'm actually, and I was. I was like kind of popular, not to be a bitch. And like sports were banned at my high school.
I love that.
And we only had these things called Renaissance rallies, which were for people, awarding people on the honor roll. That was literally what we had. So we had 2 tiers of classes.
I was hoping that it had something to do with like Ren Fair.
Oh, no. Although spiritually we weren't far away from that. There were a lot of LARPers at my school. Honey, it was Geek Malik. It was Frex on a Lash. It was like, it truly, but it was amazing because like all the usual people who'd be popular there, their power sources were cut off by not having sports.
Right.
So like, and there were 2 tiers of classes. There was college prep and there was like AP. And if you were in college prep, you were ostracized. You were like you were seen as stupid.
Really?
Oh yeah. You were like dumb. And like you'd be shunned. Like truly. And so I was, honey, she was in paradise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You were like in AP.
Yeah,
you were ruling the school.
I was ruling the school.
How big were your classes?
God, I don't know, like 20 to 30.
Okay.
It wasn't super small, but it wasn't super big.
I always think it's like, I would love the feeling of going to like a brand new school.
It was brand new. In fact, the first year that I went there, half the school was still in trailers because the construction hadn't finished.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So it was brand new. It was weird though. It gave like prison vibes. I was like, who like approved this decorating scheme? I was like, honey, it's all gray. It was all gray.
Going to I will never forget, my first grade class was in a trailer because there was construction going on at the elementary school.
People don't talk about that enough. People don't talk about that enough.
And it didn't really rain in Ventura, but like when it would rain, it was like being in a little tin can.
It's not chic. Learning math in a trailer, not chic.
No.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I wouldn't either.
No, you need to be soothed by your environs.
I need the paper cutouts. Sure. I need tchotchkes like this. You know what I mean? Of course,
yeah.
I need to know that the teacher spent their money decorating the classroom.
I'm holding space for your trailer, and I want you to hold space for mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. So, I mean, it was great because I just felt very accepted, and I felt like very much like things that would have, absolutely gotten my ass kicked at Ventura or Buena. Like, I was celebrated for those things in Foothill Tech. So it really was a godsend. I truly feel like it was my like Gwyneth sliding doors, that if I was like born any other time or whatever, like if I had to go to a place like Ventura or Buena, like what would have been like for me.
Right.
Because like I never got teased ever. In fact, I think as a defense mechanism, I kind of became like mean sort of to like kind of,
Like when you become the bully as a
bit.
way to like
to deal.
mask your
of
own
course, of
stuff,
course.
you
Yep,
know?
Yep. So people were a little intimidated by me, and I made it that way, obviously by design.
Yeah, that was your design. That was your
like
master
a
plan.
little gay disabled bully, like better watch out. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, LOL. But I was just like trying to survive. You know what I mean?
I get it. I get it. I also think like I'm not pro bullying as someone that was seriously bullied, and my bullying.
You were seriously bullied?
Oh, major.
By who?
Well, when I was in elementary school, I was bullied by this cunt. We're gonna bleep her name. By this cunt named. Yes, she
that's
fucking
powerful.
wrecked me. We're only gonna say it twice. That's it. We're not gonna say it anymore.
Wow.
I will call her Rachel from this time forward.
No, you should call her Paris.
Well, it's funny. It's funny that you say that.
Berlin.
It's funny that you say that because in my show, in like my hour show that I perform live, I've renamed her Paris.
Oh my God, incredible.
But she just fucking like her bullying style was very pedestrian.
Sure.
It was not.
You wanted her to invent more interesting ways to torture you.
She would threaten my parents' lives. She would say that she was going to kill my mom.
What?
Yes.
Wait, this is, babe, where is she now?
In a Carolina, I think.
Ooh, in a Carolina.
In a Carolina.
Yeah.
She was really crazy. She just like, what she did masterfully, I will say, was threaten the other girlies. So if the other girlies hung with me, then they would be, you know what I mean?
She got you isolated.
Yeah, she was really good at isolating me and having there be punishments for other people to fuck with me.
Ooh, honey.
And I was very small. I was like a small kid. Yeah.
Okay, bragging.
I was very
so
tiny.
Petite, so
3'8".
So crazy.
Yeah.
Not to be a bitch.
Not to be a bitch. I didn't have a growth spurt until I was in 7th grade. But yeah, I got bullied then. And then, you know, I just never felt like I fit in.
Yes.
I never felt like I just never felt like I really fit in. And then I got bullied again. And then I had a mental breakdown my freshman year of high school.
Okay. Did you have to go away?
Well, I was at boarding school. I had a mental breakdown at boarding school. Left boarding school.
I feel like that's very common. I feel like that's almost like a prereq. Like you have to have a nervous breakdown in boarding. Like if you haven't, it's actually like deeply embarrassing.
No, it is. And I agree with you. Yeah. If you haven't had a nervous breakdown at boarding school, you are dead inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it just means you're going to have one later.
Yeah. You're going to be living through one for your whole life.
Yeah.
But whatever. All to say is I don't think bullying is good.
Sure.
But I will say it makes you stronger.
Well, it's like it's so, you don't ever want it to be so on the nose and cliche, but it's true that like I went to my 10-year high school reunion, which I think was like the sort of last gasp of those things. It was like put together by Scotch tape. Like there were because with Facebook and everything, like no one cares. And
right. Well, it's like I can see what you're doing. Right. Like you're not coming to me after 10 years where I haven't been able to witness.
You're like, just listen to my podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Watch my show. Read my books.
Hello.
Yeah.
But I went and it was like Romeo and Michelle, Billy Christensen. It was like the guy that everyone thought was super hot is now really looks like he got hit by a Mack truck.
Absolutely.
And he's definitely
but that brings me peace.
Addicted to drugs and like not well and like it was so weird. The men looked like absolute roadkill. Like it was actually shocking. I was like, you're 28, you're giving 50.
Right.
The women looked flawless.
Yes.
But everyone was like a heavy drink. There was definitely like some substance abuse issues,
right? Which
I feel like if you stay in Ventura, like they're gonna get you. Right. You know what I mean? Like there's not much to do.
Well, boredom.
Yeah, it's a lot of boredom. But it was really, it was sort of vaguely depressing in the way that like, you know, every movie has taught you that it will be. It was very much like the movie experience, which I was a little bit like, oh my God, like, be more interesting.
I know.
You know, like give me a curveball.
Were you like the smartest in your class?
No, absolutely not. Because because there was a lot of techie people. It was football tech. So there was a lot of science, math people. It was mostly science and math, which is not my journey, obviously.
Right.
So No, there was like truly brilliant geniuses at my school.
I always would find that like the super techie science and math, like mega nerds, to me, those were always the biggest bullies. Like low key. Like I always felt low key, like, because they would like look at you and they'd be like,
yes.
And it's like, whoa,
well,
you're not even saying anything to me, but I know you want me to die.
You can pretty much guarantee that they all hate themselves because they are nerds. And they hate that. And especially when it's a straight white male nerd because they're so close to having absolute power.
Right.
But they can't because they're like smart and nerds. So they're like really angry about the proximity to power.
Right. Because they're like, this is what they want, but they're like
it's giving, what's it giving Mark Zuckerberg? It's giving revenge. It's giving
not rubbed in zinc sunscreen on a fucking
and a giant fat ass.
Yeah.
Which literally we're like, where'd that come from?
A big fat ass.
I love big fat asses, and even that challenged me. I literally was like, as a big fat ass enthusiast, I was like, I'm being challenged.
Do you remember like being in high school and noticing who, like, if a teacher had a big fat ass?
I don't actually know. No, I didn't. I mean, I remember having little crushes on male teachers.
Yeah.
Like weird ones. By the way, a total sneak peek of what was to come for me sexually.
Were you out in high school?
I came out my junior year very psychotically.
How?
There was a boy that I really wanted to date.
Okay.
I saw him across the quad. He was wearing a Smith's muscle tee. I was like, she's starting. You know what I mean? Like, she's starting. And like a moth to a flamer, I was like, okay. Like
did you just say like a moth to a flamer?
Yeah. And then I was like, I need to date this person. In order to do that, I need to be out. Here's the deal. I didn't see a point, and this is very bleak, where like I didn't see a point coming out when there was like no reason to in my mind.
Right.
Where I was like, oh, so I can just be single and sad and like troll MySpace for dick. Like, no, that's not my journey.
Right.
I need a reason. I need like a bulletproof vest. I need like a reason to do this big leap. You know what I mean? So then I met this guy and I knew he was G. And I was just like, okay, like let's party. So I came out to like everyone I kind of knew very like rapidly. And then all my second and third tier friends, I had a sexuality reveal party, which is
what?
Yeah, which is like less harmful than a gender reveal party.
Wait, you know what I mean? Where did you do this party?
I did it. Okay, so I texted all my friends and I was like, guys, my mom's out of town. Come to my house for a secret that's going to change all our lives. By the way, if they didn't know I was gay before, you know what I mean? So, I mean, you only come out once. Well, maybe a lot of people, maybe it's actually more than once.
Yes.
But, so then the friends that already had known my inner circle, they came with me to the mall to go to Spencer's Gifts, and I got like penis pasta.
Yes.
A lot of like
oh my God, penis pasta.
Penis pasta. Phallic gifts up the wazoo.
Yes.
I made gift bags for every guest that was all gay. Penis. And then I put up posters of Morrissey and Mar and like blah, all over my living room.
Icons.
I decorated.
Yes.
And then I filmed a video with my little camcorder because I was like very Dawson Leary. And I was like, it's a video of me like slow dancing with my best friend, Katie. And she goes in to kiss me. And I'm like, no, I can't, Katie. I can't. She's like, why not? I've liked you for so long. Like, why can't we be together? I was like, I can't tell you. It's too hard. She's like, tell me now. And I turned to the camera and I'm like, I'm gay, bitches. And then I'm like, yeah. And everyone's like, ah! Like, literally everyone freaked out. It was like literally like confetti, like,
oh my God.
It was crazy. And honestly, like there's some gifts that you give yourself as a teenager that you're like, wow. Like I'm so glad I had the foresight to be like, I'm going to throw a giant sexuality
celebrate
party.
this.
But like have it in such a crazy way. I can't believe I did that. That's like slay, truly.
Did you make the penis pasta?
No, God no. It's sold at Spencer's.
I
Gifts.
know. I mean,
you think I was like artisanal Julia Child in the kitchen? Literally being like, my pizza. Like, no, give me a break. I store-bought that shit. No, absolutely not. But it was really fun. And then we all got drunk and like danced to the faint and like, you know.
The faint.
And then, you know, the guy I had a crush on was there.
Okay.
And he like showed everyone his dick, which I loved.
Was that the first IRL dick you ever saw?
It was.
Wow.
Ventura was wild in terms of like, this sexual experimentation that was happening.
Yeah.
We were very horny, obviously.
Yes.
And we all my group of friends, we started fucking at the exact same time. We all lost our virginities within like 3 weeks of each other. Like it was like truly
in
like,
high school.
Yeah.
So did you lose your virginity to that guy?
So then that guy and I started dating. It was the summer between my junior and senior year of high school. It was truly like Criterion Collection level of like coming of age, chef's kiss, gorgeous, can't believe this is happening to me. You know what I mean? It was like, it truly was Havoon. Like it was like, truly like, I could not believe it. It was magical. It was just like, you know, sleepovers every night, like spending all day together. It's so funny. Like when you're young, when you're a teenager, it's like you can talk to literally anyone for 12 hours.
I know.
Which is like literally like, first of all, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? And I'm like, now people that I love, I can't talk to for more than 2 hours. Like literally people that I love and share. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. But in high school, you were like, no, let's keep hanging out. And it's like, what are you talking about?
I know.
What are you doing? I don't even remember there being awkward silences. It was just like it was like everyone was crazy.
I know.
And I remember like I did that summer, I filmed a lot of my friends, just like whatever, like Dawson Leary vibes. And then I actually uncovered the footage or whatever and then like looked at it. And it's like, when you're that age, like you are spiritually on coke. Like literally, it was like me, like my friend Christy picking me up and be like, and it's like literally like you're going to Ben and Jerry's. Do you know what I mean? It's like not that deep. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it's like literally like it's just the sheer energy. And I feel like this too, like talking to LOL Gen Z, like who I, you know, am spiritually a godfather of, and I am friends with the Gen Z community. And it is so crazy.
Are you friends with the Gen Z community?
I am, because actually what started it is that I worked on a show where one of the actors was 23.
Okay.
And I was like, there's no way that I'm going to bond with them. They are 23. Like,
wait, was this Queer as Folk?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Finn Argus, shouting out, I love them. But initially I was like, we're never gonna be friends.
Right.
We're never gonna be friends. And then, you know, you're in New Orleans for 5 months.
Right.
Shit happens.
Right.
You know what I mean? You start kind of being like, all right, what's on door number 5?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And like I found Finn and I ended up becoming so close while we filmed, and I loved them. And then through them, I met a bunch of their Gen Z kind of counterparts, and I was like, oh, the kid's all right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I feel that way about, it's funny because I was always the person that had older friends.
Yeah.
So like now I'm like, oh, of course I'm friends. I'm cool to be friends with like a 22-year-old, you know?
Sure.
And they
are energizing. It's weird.
No,
they're energizing.
They are energizing.
I'm exhausted afterwards, but like I'm energized.
I am sure everyone felt like this generationally.
Sure.
But I think that they have had such a different experience because like we were really the generation of the internet sort of starting as a seedling and then starting to blossom. They've kind of
entirely on the internet
in full bloom, like their whole life.
Which, by the way, is like why a lot of them are not okay.
Yeah, but I find myself
social, like their mental health is like, you know, being raised with the screen. It's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much. It really is. I feel glad that we got like the last gasp.
Me too.
Of normalcy.
I do too. I'm so grateful that we had it in high school.
I feel like you should be able to use you should have to have a license to use the internet the way you have to have a license to drive a car.
And on that note, we're going to throw to a break and we'll be right back. I completely agree that there needs to be licenses to use the internet.
Yeah. I mean, I would still want to give them out to full-grown adults.
100%.
Some people aren't okay.
First of all, I think that in terms of driver's license, I think you should be retesting for that shit. I think there needs to be retesting road tests. Actually.
But also, when someone is going through it and you can see on their online presence, there's something kind of soothing.
There is something soothing.
We're all human vibes, you know? We're all going through it. Okay.
I just find myself...
But, you know, slay.
I just find myself like... I guess when I think about me in high school, and I feel like you and the things that you said during our conversation are probably similar, like I was so emotional and I was so like wholeheartedly like living this like teenage like
mainlining.
Yeah, like everything is all consuming and like this is me.
Well, because
and
you have
like,
no point of reference.
Right.
You're meeting so many feelings for the first time that you just don't understand. And you feel like every feeling is going to be the one that ends you. And you just don't have that life experience to know that like it's not that deep and everything's gonna be okay.
Do you miss that?
Sometimes I have to be honest with you, like my boyfriend and I like started really opening up our relationship in the last year. And I feel like that's my version of like microdosing emotions. Like it's like I get to have these like fleeting moments of connection with men that feel very fun and like kind of sparkly, but very, very, very low stakes.
Yeah.
And like doesn't kind of inconsequential. And that is my version of still getting like my life experience cup filled. Because like straight people are broken. Like I just watched Fleischman is in Trouble and it could be called Straight People Are in Trouble.
Oh wait, I was truly just about to ask you, have you watched Fleischman is in Trouble?
Straight people are really unwell. And it was truly wild. And I think White Lotus kind of comment on this too. And I think like my boyfriend and I were watching this because, you know, he's 38, I'm 36. So like we're not far from the ages of Fleischman. And it was so interesting watching these people be absolutely devastated by the choices that they've made, whether it be motherhood or marriage or whatever, and not actually ever interrogate like the systems in place that like put them there. And also not even that, but like in the finale, the thesis, I mean, this is like not really a spoiler because it's a voiceover, but like the thesis is sort of like, yeah, you want to leave your husband and he was making you unhappy? Well, guess what? You just want to be younger. And guess what? You'll never be young again. So just deal with it. This is how life is. And like literally that's like supposed to be like hopeful, ... It's like actually insane. Right. But I feel like, and it's like truly crazy because like I feel the older I get, like my life just gets more expansive. And I think like that's how it should be, ...
Yes.
But it is truly like insane because I think straight people are so conditioned to kind of co-sign this misery, sort of like co-opt this narrative and be like, well, this is just how it is.
Right.
You know, it's like when people are like, relationships are a lot of work, okay? You go through it, you know, there's years where you don't like each other and you're like, really?
Yeah.
Like, does there have to be?
Yeah,
like,
when people are like, it's completely normal to not have sex for 5 years.
And you're like, it's not, babe. And you're like, are you okay? And so I feel like it's so weird because I feel like since we've been on this like a kind of open journey, me and my boyfriend, it's like we get to have these sort of like teenagery experiences where we get to have these like very contained bottle episodes of like fun, and then we go back to each other and it's just very fun and it keeps things alive. It keeps our sex life popping through fucking other people because we're like seeing my boyfriend be desired by other men makes him more desirable to me after 8 years.
I think that there's something going back to the idea that heterosexual people are broken, which I do agree with. I think that there's like, from what that we're like so off the topic of being in high school, but whatever, I don't really care. But I will remember like when I was in high school, I truly thought to myself, I'm never getting married because my parents were like in a miserable marriage. I was like, I'm never getting married.
Are they still married?
No, my mom is dead and my dad is now remarried, but they like got a divorce when I was 21.
Okay.
But they should have gotten divorced when I was 9.
Were they kind of like, did they kind of say they stayed together for you?
Yes, which I think is
crazy.
such bullshit. Because I was there being like, I remember being 9, being like, please just get a divorce. Like, I don't want to be in this house with you guys screaming at each other all the time. But I think kind of to the point of like, when you get older, you find yourself doing things where you aren't even questioning why you're doing it. You're like, I'm just doing it because I was taught that this is the way that it is.
Yes.
I think that when I look at Gen Zers or when I think about being in high school, the reason why I think it's so fun to talk about being in high school is to be reminded that we had like these little nubile brains, you know, like, and in many ways, even though I thought I was way smarter than I was, and I thought I was way more fucking cool than I actually was, there were parts of that were fun because it's like, oh, I was genuinely forming something that I concocted, not impacted by social media, not impacted by this like cultural need to, I don't fucking know, whatever I feel now.
Right.
The older you get, it's like
there's no like need to brand yourself.
No.
It feels very pure. It was very pure. It was very innocent. It was very like experiential. Like it was not meant to serve any larger purpose rather than pleasure.
Yeah.
And having your own fun with your friends. You know what I mean? I don't know. But like I'd always wanted to be a teenager. I mean, like it sounds corny, but like I grew up watching like Beverly Hills 90210 and like Dawson's Creek and all these things, and like I was like, I want to do it. I want to do adolescence. Like that's the most interesting time. And even in my work, like I still find myself, I mean, no one wants to buy teenage shows, which is unfortunate. So like basically I'm always drawn to like late bloomers. Like my character in Special was like very much like an adolescent, but like 28, very undercooked. I just feel like I think it's just a really ripe time.
Me too. I think it's such an interesting time.
I know. And it's like very, I don't know. I still feel myself very inspired by high school and by teenager. I mean, I also just had a really great teenage experience. I just feel like as painful as it was, like I had amazing friends. I got to have sex, which #blessed.
Yes.
And like got to have lots of horrible bad sex, but there's no such thing as good or bad sex. There's just sex.
You know, I do say the famous quote of this podcast is that all high school sex is bad.
Oh, of course. There's no way it's good.
No.
But here's the deal. Again, no point of reference.
No point of reference.
So you're just, I mean, and there are so many people not fucking.
Yes.
And that, like, you're just like, I'm so glad that I'm fucking.
I remember I was actually having this conversation yesterday with my friend Patrick, and I was like, it popped into my mind that there was a point when it was me and one other girl, and we were the only two people that we knew of in our class that was fucking. Mm-hmm. And I was like, the fact that there was a point in time, like now we're all in the same room and we're all fucking. You know, like
speak for yourself.
Yeah. But there was a point in time where you were the minority.
No, it was crazy. And like you do feel like you've been anointed.
Yes.
And you were part of a really exclusive club. And then you would seek out other people that have been fucking.
Yeah.
And literally you would turn into Samantha from Sex and the City.
Yes.
Like, well, I like doing it this way. And you literally thought you were so evolved.
Yes.
And you like everyone became a sex expert. They literally have sex once. They literally are now Samantha Jones. That's the part that truly made me LOL, was literally like I remember like going, you seek out the other people that were having sex and you like all hang out together and like talk about it.
Yeah.
And everyone was just like having the time of their life. But it was true too. Because like, no one knew, honey, you don't know what you don't know.
No.
And also there's something about like there was no expectations to be good at sex because you were having it for the first time.
Yeah.
So like I wasn't supposed to like know my way around a prostate. Like I didn't.
No.
You know what I mean? I wasn't supposed to know how to rim somebody.
I don't know. I remember there was pressure if you're a girl, like if you could give good head.
Oh yeah, that's oh god.
You know, like if you could like suck dick and like deep throat cock.
That's sick.
Actually, I never said the word cock in high school.
No, that would be psychotic.
Yeah. There is something so deranged and scary about a teenager.
I'm like literally call CPS. Like literally call Child Protective Services on it. She is unwell. She is not okay. Her parents are like,
doing something wrong.
They've ghosted. Well, it's like so like my parents in high school also, like, we had the house that everyone went to party at. Because my parents, God bless them, they were a little gone girl. My dad remarried and moved to LA when I was 15. And my mom was sort of not around. Like, she got a boyfriend and very much was over at his place.
Got it. And were you an only child?
No, I had two siblings. It was very Lucy Lawless at my house. Like, it was very, like it was shocking. Like, looking back at it, I'm like, oh my God, we really were kind of parenting ourselves.
Right.
And it does bring like the whole like nature versus nurture thing, because like I am a type A Virgo from hell. So like for me to not have any parenting, I was sort of like, I don't care, because I have my schedule. And I have my routine. And like I love that. And like I'm always gonna get my work done and da-da-da-da.
Right.
So like I actually didn't really suffer in that way of needing that structure.
Did your siblings?
Yeah, I think my brother sort of needed that more than I did. My sister was away at college, so she wasn't really around, but like it was wild. There was like a backroom shed where I like lost my virginity, with my boyfriend, and then my brother would like have sex with girls back. I mean, it was like Caligula vibes. It was like literally like it was crazy. It was like we were all fucking and like no one cared. It was just weird.
Fucking in the shed.
We were fucking in the shed, but we also were. I was fucking in my bedroom all the time. I was fucking in the shower. Like, and my mom like was just like her room was on the other side of the house, and it was sort of like its own vibe.
Zone. Yeah.
So like it was very much like she would just go in there, not come out, and like we would just do whatever we wanted. It was weird. I mean,
but there's always one. Like, you always go to high school with one of those people where you're like, I don't know where their parents are, but we're at their house, and like, here we are. I mean, there was one girl who lived in like a big McMansion in the suburbs, and
it's always the rich girls.
Always the rich girl in the suburbs, and we would be full on like playing beer pong on her kitchen island. Yeah. And her mom would just come downstairs, very Amy Poehler Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Like in a juicy sweatsuit, being like, can I get you guys anything? Like, can I make you more dip for your chips? Like, very that.
It's so
very supplying
weird.
Alcohol vibes.
That's so odd.
I know.
I just don't understand it. But I mean, I think... I don't know. Everyone's doing the best they can. ...
I guess.
Could it be me? Could it be me?
Oh my God. Knock, knock, knock. Is that a door knock I hear? Why, yes, it is. Oh. Welcome to the high school guidance counselor's office. I'm your high school guidance counselor.
Fun.
In this segment of the podcast, you get to rectify a wrongdoing of your high school past. That can be many things. That can be you saying fuck you to someone. That can be you apologizing to someone. It's just you, whatever sort of gnaws at you from high school, you can now take it back.
God.
I was just about to say take back the night, but that's like a really serious thing. Did you have that at your high school?
Oh, yeah, when the drunk driving.
Yeah, no. Why did I think take back the night drunk driving, or was it sexual assault? See, these are the things that they don't do anymore in high schools.
They don't.
Anyway, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know.
By the way, have you ever had a real high school student on this podcast?
No, I would love to.
You should.
Like
someone who just graduated.
But they need to be 18 plus.
No, I know, but someone who just graduated would be 18 probably.
Yes.
So that would actually be very chic.
I would love.
Because I would love to know what's going on.
I would love to know what's going on with the dolls. Maybe we actually just fully change the entire format moving forward, and it's only high schoolers that come on.
It would be really interesting though to have a recently graduated person come and talk about their high school experience.
Maybe I should just like get a co-host where they're kind of like my little young high school co-host.
And maybe too much. That's too
I can
much
throw to
FaceTime.
them. Yeah, it is
that's too much FaceTime with an 18-year-old.
No, but just one conversation.
Have them one and done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just be like, what are the kids doing these days?
Yeah, what's going on?
Talk about how much like high school has changed. Or
yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
Look at me trying to produce your show. Okay.
No,
sorry.
I think it's good. We'll find
Virgo
one.
control freak. I'm like, anyways.
If you know one, I'll happily.
I don't. I mean, if I did, you'd have to arrest me. You know what I mean? Like literally, like I'm like, I don't know. Maybe Finn does. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know one. I don't know any.
Let me think. I don't have any regrets about high school. It's very weird. I remember it being a very fun, cool, weird experience. Like I don't have any sort of. I mean, I think I would be nicer. I think I would be nicer to people. I don't think I would. I would be like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to put on this protective shell. But I mean, I felt like at the time I did, and it served me well. So I never got teased.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of like, okay, that served its purpose. God, Were you
ever mean to a teacher?
Oh, yeah. There was a Spanish teacher who, my high school, all the teachers were so young.
Yeah.
I'm talking like 24, 25. And, you know, my Spanish teacher in my senior year, I was 18 and she was 21. And we tortured her. I mean, I didn't do this, but my friends did this where they would start to steal her office supplies and then sign them whatever the Black Bandits are in Spanish.
Yes.
I can't remember. Shows how well I did in Spanish. And she literally would have to talk every day and be like, whoever is stealing my stapler, my pencil, like, stop. Please stop. And I would feel bad about that because we did torture her. There was a lot of that, which I'm like, okay, she was 21. She was probably hanging on by an emotional thread.
Yes, but absolutely. She was going home every day. You guys probably broke her.
Yes. She literally was like a peer. She was a peer of but she was like literally like, you are 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like
No,
even
and
then, it
you
seemed
could
crazy.
check in on her now,
Oh, I
and
know,
she
we
probably
literally-
just turned 40.
I know, totally. And I'd
Yeah.
be like, hi.
Yeah.
There was also, it was so funny. There was another teacher I had who was very sweet, but like truly wanted me to be her gay best friend. I swear to God. And she literally would keep me after class and like play me voicemails from an ex and be like, what should I do?
Oh my
And I'd be like,
God.
whoa. I'd be like, hun? And I remember being like, something ain't right. I mean, I loved it because I was like, well, I am worldly and I do know a lot of things. So I was like, let's
Let's
pull up
break
the
it
chair.
down.
Let's break it down.
Yeah.
He's an asshole. He's an asshole and you shouldn't be with him. Meanwhile, like literally I'm like dating someone who like treats me like shit. But like, and then I remember when I graduated, she gave me a mixed CD.
Oh
and
my God, that's
mix.
intimate.
It is. And the cover was her from her wedding photo shoot.
What?
It was really weird. I'm holding space for this woman because she truly was like lol and sweet and like cool. But I am also a little bit like, babe, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, I gotta tell you, there were a lot of weird relationships that the teachers had with students. Like that looking back, I'm like, that ain't good.
Right.
Like I don't know. I don't know if I actually want to even indict them in that way of like, that ain't good, but like just very blurred lines. Like very like.
It's not good.
I'm not a regular teacher. I'm a cool teacher. And I'm like, I want to be your friend. I want to gossip. I want to like know what's going on.
Right.
And you're just like, wait, I don't understand.
See, that's why I could not be a teacher because I know I would be one of those teachers.
Yeah.
I know I'd be like, so what's the tea?
Did Samantha hook up with Josh?
Yeah.
I think she totally did. Because when I was teaching her at first period, she was giving him these looks. Don't tell her I said anything.
Yeah.
Don't tell her I said anything. You're like, okay, this is literally. Oh, I know. This is actually fucked up. So when there was like a rival gay in my town.
In the town? Not even at your school?
No, he went to a different school, but he was a very talented artist. He still is. He's very successful now. We were both like very ambitious gays, destined for big things. And we had a lot of mutual friends, and I was legitimately like a mean girl towards him. And he came out after I did. And I remember I came out before him and being like, and I remember I would like troll him for not coming out and be like, so when are you going to do it? And he'd be like, when are you going to do it? Like, so I would like, babe,
bully him.
I would bully him to come out. Can you imagine? Like literally after being in that own hell myself, like superimposing that onto him, like literally like it's insane. But again, honey, like your brain is a bag of worms. Like literally like you are so unwell and you're so insecure and you're so deep in your own pain. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
But anyway, we actually ended up being very close friends for a big chunk of my 20s. So like we're good.
You're cool now.
Yeah, I ran into him at a house party a few weeks ago.
Great.
Slay. He's doing great. So it's all good. But I remember just like looking back at that, I'm like, oh my God, that is so psychotic. That is insane that I was like literally cyberbullying this gay guy for not being out because I had just gotten, I think like when I became out, I was just sort of, I think I would do that with this other, like I was just like, come out.
Because you also, there's a part of you too that like doesn't want to be alone.
A little bit like that. I was a little bit like, okay, it's lonely at the top.
Yeah. It's lonely at the top.
It's like, come
cold
on.
and lonely.
Like, can someone, and he was, but he did, but then he also ended up like, I think like, I can't remember, trying to hook up with my ex-boyfriend, and that really pissed me off.
That would piss me off too.
Yeah, that was like, really?
Yeah, you're like, you want to play those games?
You want to play those games?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone tried to fuck my boyfriend or my ex-boyfriend when we broke up. I was furious, but he was really hot. So
it happens.
I know.
Do we have a Classmates Corner?
We do.
Okay, so Classmates Corner is when our listeners get to talk to me and you.
Okay.
And we get to guide
so
them.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. And we get to give them our high school guidance counselor advice.
Okay, I love that.
So Tevi, what did our classmates say today?
Great. So we have Paula today. She says, hi, Greta, love the pod, and it's inspired me to be more inquisitive about my own friends' high school experiences, and I've gotten some great stories out of it. For my session with the guidance counselor, I'd like to send a long-distance thank you note to the student council member who was running the ticket booth for my winter formal sophomore year. I was attempting to buy 2 tickets during lunch period, one for me and one for my close friend who happened to be a girl. The teacher was trying to tell me that I couldn't purchase a ticket for someone without their student ID, despite my efforts to explain that she didn't have one because she was homeschooled. As I was getting visibly upset, the student next to the teacher bursts out, "They can't discriminate against lesbians." My conservative evangelical self was mortified and only got more upset by trying to defend myself. My current queer self looks back and wonders how that student was able to read me so easily years before I even came out to myself. Anyways, thanks for being a great ally to a closeted queer, long-lost council member. XOXO.
That's not a question.
Oh, that's not a question, but that was a lovely note.
We love you and we're holding space, but like, what the fuck? Like, literally, like, what the literal fuck? That actually made me flashback to, like, in high school, there was a blood drive. And I went with my boyfriend, and they're like, you can't donate blood because you've had anal. And I was like, ugh. But also I was like, I have had anal. You're right. I was like, lock me through the key. I get plowed every single day. I literally was like, that's fucking crazy and prejudice, and like, I'm going to literally get railed every day, and you can't stop me. But also, this is a fucked up practice, but also I get railed.
Is it still true that if you're gay, you can't give blood?
I think they're trying to change it, but yeah, I think it's still true, which is psychotic.
It's so fucking crazy.
It ain't right, darling.
It ain't right.
It ain't right. I love it, though. That reminded me so much of, like, the bureaucracy of high school.
I was about to say that
the asinine rules, the bullshit.
Rules.
Oh, my God.
The rules.
The red tape.
I know that teacher. That was like... Unfortunately, your friend that you need her high school ID.
Yeah, high school ID. It's like,
oh my God,
like,
grow up.
Grow up.
Literally get a fucking life.
Truly, like 911, I'm getting you 5150 at Cedars.
You kind of already answered this question, but if you could go back in time and give your high school self any advice, what would it be?
Oh my God. I mean, I would probably say that the things that you're most ashamed about and scared to be are going to be the reasons why you're going to be able to buy a house in your 30s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, honey, you can fight who you are, but it's not going to be a fight you're ever going to win.
Yeah.
So you might as well embrace it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, I would tell him, do not be celibate for most of your 20s, which I was.
Really?
Yeah. And I'll be like, I don't regret anything largely because, like, truly life slay. Like, who cares? But I did have a period of celibacy in my 20s that I think did some damage on
How long?
I mean, if we're talking anal, like a decade.
Wow.
But like in New York, I would just like have like a full 2 years without kissing someone. I was just very insecure. And I was closeted by disability. I was just so tortured and I hated myself so much. And I felt like when I had my boyfriend in senior year, like, I was like, wow, all of this is available to me in a way that I didn't expect. And then when we broke up, it just sort of like reconfirmed every worst fear I had about myself. And it like set me back. It was actually crazy. Like that breakup was so destabilizing to my whole existence.
Yeah.
And in a really tragic way, it took me years to overcome that. It was really wild. And it was like, it's like, I don't know. It's like you always want to think about growth like in linear terms.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, it's like, you think like, okay, I dated this person. I'm going to continue dating. Like, this is just how life's going to be. But that breakup really fucked me up. And like, there was reverberations through my 20s that like truly to this day, like shocked me. Right. You know what I mean? But it was, I
understand. I mean, different, very different. But I had a high school breakup that like has shocked me.
Really? To
how deeply it affected me.
It's really intense. I mean, like, it's so stupid because it happens, you know, when you're so young and, you know, if you add up all the time, it feels so kind of inconsequential and whatever. But it's that first wound. You know what I mean? It's like that first cut is the deepest. You know what I mean?
And kind of like back to the point of who we are in high school, which in many ways is like, to me, there's something so pure about it. And to get...
You're so open because you don't have any baggage.
No.
You're just literally like, love me. I love you.
Yeah.
Like, here's everything I have to offer. Like, I wouldn't even know to like play games. I don't even know what those are.
Right.
Like, it's so
And to
innocent.
get rejected from that or to get like to have that piece of you get wounded, it's almost like a whole shutdown.
Yes.
Of like, oh, just kidding. Like you suck.
Yes.
Like your whole thing.
Well, because when you're that age every ounce of self-esteem you have is like basically charged on a credit card, like on loan. And so like you're outsourcing to your relationship to feel good. You're outsourcing to your friendships. So when something really horrible happens to you and you feel rejected, again, it just reconfirms everything that you'd feared to be true.
Yeah, exactly.
And the credit card
declines.
Yeah, declines. You can't charge anymore. You have to pay it off, which is really...
Yeah, and you're just left with a lot of debt.
You're just left with a lot of debt. You have to really pay off for a long time.
For life.
For life. It's crazy. And your credit score, never gonna be good. It's never gonna be good.
Did you go to prom?
Yeah, of course I went to prom. Are you kidding?
What'd you wear?
I wore a Mark by Marc Jacobs suit.
Absolutely.
Because when I grew up pretty lower middle class, like real Lady Bird vibes, right? Mm-hmm. And when I was 18, I got a settlement for when I was delivered. Obviously, the doctor made some mistakes, and so he paid for them. And so I got my settlement money when I was 18. So my senior year kind of became like a nouveau riche nightmare. It's very strange to have more money than your parents at 18. That's really strange, and like wouldn't recommend it. You know what I mean? It's like it fucks up the power dynamic, right? But I all of a sudden had access to these things that I just like couldn't believe. And honey, this was 2005.
Yeah.
This was, I mean, you're a Parsons girl, so you know.
This is Mark by Mark.
So this is Mark by Mark 2005. This was when Mark was chubby and on heroin. Okay, this is when he was a schlubby nerd. This is before he found the gym in Chelsea and became a David Barton.
David Barton, and you know, I lived across the street from David Barton, and I went.
Wait,
to David
I did
Barton.
Too.
Really?
Which one?
I lived in the Carteret. No, I lived in the one in Chelsea.
Oh, I lived across the street.
On 23rd.
Wait, this is actually LMAO because I moved into this place on Astor Place. Can you tell I had settlement money? And I remember like I just moved to New York. I got this really amazing studio at Astor Place, and I remember there's people painting at night, and I was like, oh my God, this is New York. It's like the Cooper Union. It's the Cooper Union Art Studios. They're doing their artwork. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's just construction for David Barton Gym.
That's so funny. I remember that David Barton that opened right there.
Yeah. I lived across the street. Obviously, never went there a day in my life.
That was like between Broadway. It was like just off Broadway.
Yeah, Lafayette and Broadway. Yeah. That's where I lived for 3 years. Best. Oh my God, heaven. Great years. But like, so I became like a Mark by Mark head, and I remember like going to LA. I used to take cabs to LA.
Oh,
which were like $4,000.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean? It's a miracle that I have anything left.
It's a miracle that you're alive.
No, it is. And I remember I was like, for prom, I'm only going Mark by Mark. It was mental illness, like true mental illness. Did you take your
boyfriend?
We were broken up. But okay. Mental illness too. So we broke up, but I was obsessed with him. Clearly, it was like non-consensual, and I like still wanted to be with him. Right? God, I wonder if. Well, no one will know who he is.
No, you haven't said his name.
Okay, great. Okay. So he still is my date to prom. I mean, it was pathetic. I was pathetic. Yeah. I was literally like, let's still be friends. And he's like, okay. But I was like,
yeah, but like, love me.
Love me. And like, be my date to prom. He's like, sure. Don't. He showed up to prom coming off of meth. And so he fell asleep. And I was like, wake up.
Did you know he was coming off of meth?
He told me. And because I was like, why are you so sleepy?
Did he smoke it?
I don't really know.
But it was smoke meth?
But it was with his new boyfriend, which was like, by the way, I wasn't upset about the meth. I was upset about the new boyfriend.
Sure.
I was like, literally, like, that's your own journey. God bless. But I was fierce, and I got into a screaming match with him at prom, and then he left. And then, but also I was no angel too, because then we rented a motel room and I took 4 somas and passed out. Actually, everyone left and I passed out in bed with the guy that I tortured for not being out. And then, so then we spent the night together. We didn't do anything, but we like literally cuddled. I was like literally on Soma's like vegetable vibes.
That's
you know what I mean?
Very funny.
I know. There was always like high drama. Like there was always things going on. I remember my girlfriend and I dated the same guy for a summer. Like we wanted to be like the dreamers. Honey, I'm telling you, this is just the tip.
Who was Michael Pitt in that scenario? You.
Probably me.
Yeah.
Because wait, weren't they brother, sister?
Yeah.
Ooh. Twisted.
Very twisted.
It was brother, sister, but it was so funny because it was my best girlfriend and it was this guy who was really cute, like kind of nerdy, but like had a huge dick. I feel like so many like nerds have huge dicks.
Yes.
Anyway,
It's actually it's
actually kind of crazy.
God's little trick.
Yeah. Totally. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm ready to learn.
Yeah.
And we wanted to be so evolved. We wanted to be like the French. You know what I mean? Like we wanted to be like, does it bother you that like, I'm also dating him? I'm like, no, it doesn't bother me. By the way, it didn't bother me because I didn't care about him that way. But like she was like, no, it's fine. You want to hook up with him? That's totally fine. Like literally just like teeth chattering. You know what I mean? It's like her first love. And we were neighbors, so he would literally go hook up with me and then go to her house and hook up with her.
Oh my God.
And it was wild.
Horny.
It was horny.
Very horny.
And it was all kind of pilled out. It was all sort of like, wee, you know what I mean? Like insane stuff. But actually, I mean, it gets twistier and turnier because, oh God, he had no problems getting hard with me. Okay. But he had problems getting hard with her. So
kind of a tale as old as time.
Well, because I think he was probably gay. I have not. You know that there's some people that like they're not on social medias and like they like literally it's like vanished without a trace.
And there's no way.
I know, and I'm so curious because I loved him. He was so smart, so funny, so bright, and like I just had such a blast with him. He was such like a formative part of my high school experience. And honey, I can't find him. I need to find a private detective. Like literally, like
you need to hire a PI.
It's actually crazy. Like he is not
gone.
Like because usually you can like kind of find people even through those like little websites like before even clicking.
Sometimes you're like, were you a figment of my imagination?
No, it's wild.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wild because I cannot find him. I'm so curious, George, about because he was so fun and that was such a crazy time we had together. But like, yeah, honey.
Love
yikes.
that.
Yeah, some things you can't take with you.
Did you, finally, the last question of this podcast, did you have a senior superlative? Was that a thing?
Oh, yeah, I did.
What was it?
I told you I was deeply popular. I got something that, in retrospect, was coded for biggest faggot. Which was most dramatic.
I love that.
And I got it with my friend who later came out of the closet as a lesbian. So, and she was dramatic. She was drama. We were actually friends and there was like ups and downs and da-da-da. So us both getting voted most dramatic and having to pose was truly LOL.
I love that.
Because it was like our friendship was like a roller coaster. And when we were on, and we were off. It was scorched earth.
I love that so much.
Did you have a senior superlative?
The senior superlatives in my high school, they were kind of like jokes. They weren't like traditional and they were fucking dumb. And mine was most likely to be on a gospel choir or in a gospel choir because I hated
God.
Well, yeah, but also because I hated God and because I sang in the gospel choir like in my school.
Oh, you did? Why?
Yeah, because the a cappella group would not let me in.
Why?
Because I was too talented.
Oh my God, the mic breaks.
Yeah, because
actually the mic just cuts you off. It just starts to be like me. Yeah,
it goes into, and then like the video is just maybe like
the light flickers.
Yeah. No, because I was too talented. Everyone was deeply threatened by me. No one, classic tale. No one let my star shine.
Yeah. What do you think actually really happened?
I think that like literally everyone like.
You're like, no, actually,
I actually think I was too talented.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wait, legitimately?
Yeah.
And so, but
I think people punished me because I was like a stoner and I was a nonconformist. Wouldn't that make you more of an asset?
I'm confused.
You know, sometimes people just want mediocrity because you can control mediocrity. You can't control greatness.
They wanted mid.
And honey, they got mid because let me tell you something.
You were giving prestige.
I was giving prestige. I was giving premium cable.
Yeah, you were giving Fleischman is in trouble. Acapella's in trouble.
Acapella's in trouble.
Wow, that's so sad. So you got gospel. So you were forced to sing gospel hymns.
Yes.
As punishment because you were like, I need to sing. Sing is my life.
Yes.
My voice cannot be restrained. Restricted. So I'm gonna have to just sing.
But like low key, I think that people just wanted to punish me because I was like stoned all the time.
You were stoned all the time?
Yeah, I was like stoner girl.
Oh, twist.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I hated weed.
I was like stoner girl, cigarette girl, and I think people were like, you know.
Were you still at boarding school?
No, I was back home. I was back in DC.
Because you left. Yeah.
Boarding school, I actually did get to sing my little heart out quite a bit.
Wait, did you go to Sidwell?
No, I went to Georgetown Day, which is
glam.
across the street, essentially.
My friend went to Sidwell. Do you know Kat Marnell?
I know Kat Marnell as Kat Marnell, but
Kat's incredible. She also is a DC girl.
A DC girl, also boarding school girl.
Of course. So I'm like, honey, you and Kat.
We need to get Kat on this show.
Kat's incredible.
Kat's in New York.
Yeah, I met her a couple times. She's an absolute blast. She's so fun. We share the same drug dealer in New York, which slay.
There you go.
Yeah. I had to listen to him recite poetry sometimes, but it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it. And she's the best.
Well, thank you so much for coming on my podcast.
Of course. It was so fun.
Where can all my little listeners find you and follow you and take more of your work?
They can grow up and get a life.
That sounds good.
Absolutely not.
No, seriously.
Oh,
come on. I mean,
I'm only on Instagram. I deleted Twitter. I deleted Facebook.
That's good.
Okay, Instagram / Ryan Ocon.
That's it.
There we go. It's just literally thoughty pictures of me. And
I love it.
News about my career.
And that's it. And that's all that matters. Ryan, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I had such a treat talking with you. I need you to come back on for part 2. I feel like we just didn't even
I know
scratch
there
the
is
surface.
a lot of stories. Do you have some guests that are flops?
Oh no. None of my guests are flops.
Are you serious? Not one?
Not one flop. Not one flop.
Listeners, her teeth are chattering. She's signaling to Jane. She's saying, "Cut,
Jane. Can we cut?
Jane,
Thank you."
Cut. So I just want everyone to know the truth.
Jane, cut.
Because I'm a truth teller.
Thank you so much for listening to Senior Superlatives. If you want to talk to the high school guidance counselor, please email us at seniorsuperlatives@gmail.com with the subject line Classmates Corner. Thank you so much for listening. 5 stars only, positive reviews only. I don't like negativity. It's a new year, positivity. And thank you so much. And as I say every week, stay cool, never change. Bye.
Bye.
That was a Headgum podcast.